Topping today's news, national security looking to keep some murder suspects in jail. Progress being made between government and petroleum dealers. The man accused of killing a woman found dead in the South Beach canals formally charged today, and the PLP MP accused of rape to be questioned by the police. Bahamas, I'm Jcn. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. The government will pose a position to the court that if certain individuals are seen to be a danger to the public, they will be remanded to prison. As the conversation of whether the court should allow bail for those accused of murder is once again a hot topic of discussion in many quarters, Minister of National Security Wayne Munro, while weighing in on the situation, says you cannot simply remand someone because they are charged with an offense.
Never mind that the individual may say, I'm prepared to take that risk myself. He could choose to take a risk of being killed for himself. What we say he should not be able to do is create a risk for a young child driving in a car with a parent being killed, a woman going to a prayer meeting being killed. All of these things that have actually happening. And so he may well be innocent. He is presumed innocent. We're not messing with his presumption of innocence. We're saying to release him creates a danger to the public. I'm made to understand that that's a position that we're putting to the court, and we will see how the Supreme Court firstly reacts to it. If they don't react favorably to it, the position of myself and the Commissioner of Police is that that matter ought to be appealed to the Court of Appeal, because the law actually permits you to remand somebody because their release would pose a danger to the public.
The discussion on bail has been something that the Commissioner of the Police has also expressed frustration with, as individuals who are on bail re-offend. Following a string of homicides over the past 10 days, Minister Munro says not every person accused of murder will be remanded, noting, however, he has seen this law be overthrown in other jurisdictions.
I could say we're going to pass a law, but you can't get bail for murder. They did that in Trinidad. The law lasted less than 12 months before the Court of Appeal of Trinidad struck it down, and the Privy Council upheld the invalidity of the law. We know what you cannot do. We know that you cannot simply remand somebody because they're charged with an offense. No law will permit that. Everyone has tried for the last 30 years. No law permits that. What the law does say is that we can remand you if you are likely to, your release is likely to pose a danger to the public. The point that we seek to make now is, in the circumstance that we appear to have capital punishment being carried out on our streets without trials, without appeals, and people are being killed in the presence of other people, and there's collateral damage, that releasing persons create a danger to the public.
Minister Munro says he was informed that the submission has already been made by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and they are awaiting a reply. In news from the Magistrates Court, prosecutors say 34-year-old Giuliano Dorset is responsible for the killing of 42-year-old Yinka Strawn. The bullet-riddled body of the mother of four was pulled from the South Beach Canal last week Wednesday. She was found by a group of men swimming in the area behind the South Beach pools. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando told reporters on Monday that the woman's death was a result of domestic violence. Dorset, when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt, was not required to enter a plea to the murder charge. He was denied bail and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He is scheduled to return to court on August 23rd. Following a meeting with the petroleum dealers on April 14th, Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkita says he believes there is progress being made. He has high hopes that they will soon be at a point where there will be a decision that everyone can live with.
You know, they were seeking a higher margin. Our position was that we would not support any margin increase that would lead to an increase in the price at the pump for the public and for businesses. That has not changed. And so we were talking about, some compromise on how it can be done. So the discussions continue. It's a process. It's a difficult situation because, again, you don't want to, and I'm sure the public will agree, they do not want to see an immediate hike in prices at the pump. And so we continue to have the discussions. I think being able to meet and exchange, that's a good thing, and we're moving.
Minister Halkitis reiterates that the government will not be moved and will not reduce its margin.
All right. The government makes its revenue from taxes and borrowing. If you reduce the taxes, you have to find it from somewhere else. You borrow the money, you end up paying it in taxes anyhow, all right? And so the situation is this. It's very complex. It's not a simple situation as the government reducing its share and therefore, you're transferring it to somebody else. The government has to get the money from somewhere, plain and simple. And so it's a complex situation. Much of it has to do with private contractual arrangements. As I've said, every time I've spoken to you, private contractual arrangements amongst retailers and their landlords, etc. All right? We continue to talk. All right? It's not a simple solution as, okay, raise the margin. If you raise the margin, it has the impact. And you'll be right here next week asking me why the government raised the price of gas.
Now, as to what relief the public can expect at the end of these conversations, the economic minister says he could not say at this time. However, he says there will be an announcement in due time. No one is above the law. That is according to the top cop, Clayton Fernanda, the commissioner telling reporters as much on Monday during a press briefing as he gave an update into the investigations regarding accusations leveled against a sitting PLP member of parliament who allegedly raped and threatened to kill his now ex-girlfriend. Commissioner Fernanda says the member of parliament is expected to be called in by police for questioning before the end of the week.
We are actively dealing with that matter. We leave no stone unturned. I heard a lot of talks in the media, but again, we don't investigate in the media. We are doing our due diligence in terms of doing our follow-ups and seeing this one and who we need to see to ensure that we dot the I's and cross the T. And before this week is out, that individual will be in for questioning. We are ready now. We are just finished completing dotting our I's and crossing our T's. And nobody, we take all matters that come to our attention seriously. And no one will be spared. Nobody is above the law. If it's me, Clayton Fernanda, then that will have to be investigated. And if the evidence is there, then we proceed. If it's not, and then there's no evidence. But we will proceed to investigate. That's why it's called investigation.
When questioned by reporters on the alleged rape on Saturday, Prime Minister Philip Davis told members of the media that he understood the accuser had decided to not press charges against the MP. However, Commissioner Fernanda says this.
Well, you will get updates with that. You will get it. That's why we're investigating, and it will be documented. And if that is the case, then you will know, and that's why we are investigating at this time.
Since the Prime Minister's comments, the complainant told a local daily she has not dropped the charges and will continue to assist police with their investigation. Female members of Parliament are continuing to speak out against rape and gender-based violence. This is in the midst of a sitting member of Parliament being accused of the same. Transport and Housing Minister Jobeth Colby Davis told reporters on Monday, although she cannot speak on the matter as it is under active police investigation, she just wants all women to be protected.
Right now, I understand the police has the matter under investigations. I don't want to go ahead and make undue assumptions and blame, but definitely as a female, you just want to ensure that persons are feeling protected in their own right. And so I hope that the investigation, once it's carried out, the information is provided to you so you don't have to come and ask any other questions.
With discussions around marital rape and violence against women intensifying, especially following recent violent acts against women leading to death, Minister Colby Davis reminisced on an incident that hits close to home as she supports amendments to the law that protects women.
But as a female, as a woman, as a mother, you want to ensure that first persons feel protected, one, by the law and the execution of the law. I volunteered many years ago. I used to volunteer with the Crisis Center, volunteered with them because I had a family member that was in a situation years ago. And so I wanted to be a voice and be a part of bringing that change. And so definitely I do lend my voice where I can, because you don't want to see persons suffer in silence, to let them know that they have an avenue and to open that door for them to feel they can reach out and speak out and get help. And many times people stay quiet because they don't feel that they will get the help that they deserve. And so definitely it's important for me to see that persons feel protected, that the law is protected, and where they may find that there are loopholes or there is silence, that the law is amended. And so I do support amendments where necessary.
Now, there has been backlash from female members of the Free National Movement, as well as other female activists who say sitting female members of parliament have been quiet and not doing enough to push for laws to protect women. And finally, in this segment, Harry Belafonte, known for hit songs like Jump in the Line, Shake Sonora, the Banana Boat song, which includes lyrics like Day-O, and signature audience songs Matilda, died today at the age of 96. Belafonte is arguably the most successful Caribbean-American pop star of his time. Born in Manhattan, New York in March of 1927 to Jamaican-born parents, Belafonte lived with one of his grandmothers on Jamaica from 1932 to 1940. On his return to the United States, he became an actor and was vocal as a civil rights activist and a close friend and confidant of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights movement. He was also best friends with the late Bahamian actor Sir Sidney Poitier for over 80 years. He said he and Sir Sidney laughed, cried, and made as much mischief as they could as they tried to make this world a little better. Belafonte and Sir Sidney in 1972 teamed up to co-star and co-produce on the big screen Buck and the Preacher, and then again in 1974 with Uptown Saturday Night. Sir Sidney introduced Belafonte at the Kennedy Center Honors Awards ceremony in 1989, and Belafonte hosted Sir Sidney's American Film Institute Lifetime Achievement Honors in 1992. Belafonte died from congestive heart failure at his home in Manhattan. In a statement released today by Prime Minister Philip Davis, he joined Bahamians and millions around the world in mourning the passing of the singer, actor, cultural icon, and civil rights activist. Prime Minister Davis says Mr. Belafonte was a friend of the Bahamas and was actively involved in our fight for social justice, equality, majority rule, and educational development. He said Mr. Belafonte would always be remembered as a friend of the Bahamas. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.